Concussions happen when either a hit happens to the head or any part of the body, and then the brain shifts within the head. What we know now is it's not necessarily just the brain going against the skull, but it's also kind of a twisting mechanism. So it usually happens with any sports contact, either player to player, player to ground, player to an object on the field, or anything like that. Things that can affect them physically might be from a balance perspective. It might also be from some different signs and symptoms we commonly see are headache, confusion, dizziness. Might also be a case where it's difficult concentrating and remembering, so definitely affecting their school academic piece as well. We can see it affect sometimes emotions too, so they might be more easily angered, more emotional. Sadness can also be things that we see with concussions. The method I use here at Brookings High School is if a person reports that they think they have a concussion or they have a headache and it was related to some sort of mechanism of injury, then we usually will go through a SCAT-3, and that's considered a pretty universal document to be able to identify the signs and symptoms, looking at different pieces from cognitive functioning, memory, and then balance. And so that's usually my first piece. After that, we usually are able to then go ahead and do an impact concussion test, and then we also include the BESS and then also the King-Devick as well. So a lot of times those are then compared back to a baseline that we've done before that season has started, and we try to do a yearly update on all of those tests. Middle school and younger tends to take a little bit longer, and I think that's due to their brain still healing. High school students and college, I think, tend to recover much quicker. The hard part is concussions are very individual, so it's not necessarily everyone heals at the same time. Sometimes individuals will take longer than others. Sometimes if an individual has a history of migraines or a learning disability, ADD, ADHD, those will also extend the amount of time it takes for a person to recover. And then also if they've sustained a concussion in the past, that can also extend the amount of time for that current one to heal. I think more information that's shared is better off than just trying to hide it. Whenever people hide concussions, it's kind of a hard part too, because then you don't know when the initial hit happened. If they sustain more than one injury, you can actually be more severe. I think a lot of times people don't realize how severe concussions are, and it seems like it's kind of the old cliche of you just got a dinger, just got a hit to the head, but not necessarily a case where I don't think they're always put to this the severity that they are. And so I think just knowing if you have a hit and you know that that hit has then resulted in headache or any of the other symptoms, the dizziness, loss of consciousness, those are things that you definitely need to then at that point refrain from activity until you've been assessed by a healthcare provider. A lot of times you do see that mentally they do have problems, socially, emotionally, so it's not only affecting their brain and everyday function, but also their relationships and other people they're around.